Welcome to Queernecks, the podcast that puts the yeehaw in y'all means all. I'm your host, Beck.
And I am your host, Dash. Welcome to today's episode.
Happy Saturday.
Yes, it is Saturday. Shanna's working until 4 o'clock, so I'm just here waiting on my lunch to get here.
What did you get?
Oh, I waited on her. Like, she'll bring my lunch.
Oh, got it.
She usually gets off at 2, and so I eat around 2:30, but she won't be home till after 4 today, so my tummy is like, arr.
I went back to, this boxing gym I used to go to, it's like over an hour drive. It's like an hour and 15-minute drive from where I live now. I used to go to it when I was living up on campus, but I had bought like a punch card. That's how they do it. And I had a bunch of punches left. And I was like, well, I'm not doing anything. It's easier to drive the truck longer distances than it was the car. So it's like, it doesn't hurt as much. So I started going back, not to like the main class, but just they do this like circuit training fitness class. So I've gone back to it a few times. And it's nice to like basically just move around. And I told her, I was like, look, here's what I've had going on. I'm not going to be like hitting it 100% and stuff like that. Just want to move around and be around people and, you know, be around something that I actually enjoy. And she was like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. But I do, after I leave the class, I always like stop and get just some junk food. Like after I'm done with training, I'm like, well, I worked out. And so I'll get like a giant bag of pretzels and like maybe a candy bar or those dipped pretzels.
They're my current obsession.
Yeah.
Clips.
Yeah. I remember you talking about them. There's a bunch of different brands of them. There's a Hershey's brand too. And so that's what I got after I finished boxing class last night, was just a big bag of those. And I ate the whole fucking bag on the way home.
They're so good. Like salty and sweet is my favorite combination.
Oh yeah.
The best combination I've ever found is buttered popcorn and Kit Kat. If you ever get a chance to try that, and I'm not even a big Kit Kat fan, but you try those two things together, it is delicious.
Grater's several brands have I think it's a Chicago style caramel popcorn, half cheddar popcorn in the same bag, like the two. Wow. Eat them together. Yeah, it's something. There was a Reese's, you know those like those thick boys that they make, like the cups that are double. There's one that has like some fudge in the bottom and one that has caramel in the bottom. And for a while there, I haven't seen them in a long time, they had Lay's potato chips crumpled up inside of it.
I saw those before. Yep.
I wish I had tried them. At the time, I was like, that sounds awful. And so I didn't try it. And now I think they, stopped doing them. And now I'm like, just to say that I had. I'm
pretty sure Shanna tried them because they had them on sale at like a gas station that we went to or something. They were like $1 a piece or whatever. So I got them for her and she tried them and she said they were good. Nothing special. They were just Reese cups.
My thought was that the chip would get soggy.
That's what I thought too. That it
wouldn't like stay crispy. Yeah. And I'm not about that.
They do make chocolate covered potato chips that you can buy. That's a thing.
Oh, these pictures are not it. Oh, this looks like a cow pie.
Ew.
I mean, they may be good. I kind of doubt it, but this image is it's gonna stay with me. I share my screen.
Ew. They do look like little turds.
Look. Oh, it's not any better.
The ones in the middle there look okay because they have the ridges, but the bumpy ones are just gross.
Yeah, where do the lumps come from?
And why are they using Pringles?
Is that, yeah. Ooh,
it was a Pringles shape.
I bet those get real soggy.
Yeah. Those aren't even considered to be potato for legal purposes.
No, I didn't know that. What are they?
Starch of some sort. It was an import-export thing, and they had to define them, and they defined that as not potato.
Okay, yeah. A dough of dehydrated processed potato flakes and corn flour, rice flour, and wheat starch. So it is about 42% dehydrated potato flake. I love Pringles. So.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Did you know the man that invented the Pringles can was buried in a Pringles can? In a life-size Pringles can?
No. Did you know that the guy on the Pringles man is based on a real person, an author named Gene Wolfe.
No, I didn't.
And he really looked like that. Here, I'll show you. He wrote some of my favorite sci-fi books. He is in his little hat. When he was younger, it definitely...
That's a fancy mustache. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fancy mustache.
And I don't know the story. Like, how did they choose him? Was it a friend? I don't know. Makes you wonder if is the Planters Peanut guy based on somebody?
That's a good question.
Mr. Peanut was created in 1916 based on a winning contest submission by a 14-year-old schoolboy named Antonio Gentile from Suffolk, Virginia.
I know a guy with the last name Gentile.
Cool. Are peanuts from Virginia? Are Planters?
Have you ever had boiled peanuts?
Yes.
I think they're disgusting.
Well, it does something to like the texture, right?
Yeah, they become mushy. Who wants a mushy peanut?
While founded in Pennsylvania in 1906, the company built its first major mass processing plant in Suffolk, Virginia. Cool.
Did you know that Campbell's soup is here near BG and the Heinz ketchup was out of BG directly? I think that is so cool that BG had Heinz ketchup. It's like one of the most famous products from America.
Yeah, didn't they have they had a plant over by where the stadium was, I think.
Yeah. Well, it was by the old newspaper that's shut down.
What was like the most maybe like nationally or internationally recognized thing from where you live?
Oh, that's easy. Shoelaces. The shoelaces, it's one of the only places left in the country that makes shoelaces, Mitchell-Ace in Portsmouth, Ohio. It had a huge factory, and now they've moved out of that factory, and they've got like a work crew of like 12 people now, but they still mass produce shoelaces. And then before that, it was shoes in general. There used to be like 5 shoe factories in Portsmouth.
There's a lot of shoe stores. I noticed actually a lot of like cobblers, like you could go and get shoes made when I go out there and visit Sabrina.
There used to be a line called Selby shoes, and they were like very popular. Like they were in movies and stuff like that, and they were made in Portsmouth.
It rings a bell.
There's one of the murals in Portsmouth dedicated to it, actually, to the factory was huge. It's still there, and it's like just this huge abomination, and there's like windows broken out of it and everything. It looks terrible.
Oh, yeah. Well, and, Jellicoe was, obviously coal.
We also have the state prison, like the, not the state prison, but the one that did the executions for a long time in Lucasville. So if anybody said they were going to Lucasville, if you've heard of Lucasville, you're either from there or you had somebody go to prison in your family. It's one of those things. So you know what kind of family. If you say I'm from Lucasville, and people are like, ooh.
I started to notice, like, after I lived in Southern Illinois for a while, and I started noticing it in all kinds of movies, especially movies with like escaped, like psycho killers or escaped convicts or something like that. And it's because there used to be a Supermax there in Marion, Ohio. They downgraded it, but for a long time it was like one of the most hardcore Supermaxes in the country. So like The Fugitive, right? Like that's why it's set in like South or Central Illinois, because that's where he was at. And then he goes to Chicago. And it has the signs. They're still there. They say, like, do not pick up hitchhikers.
Yeah, they have those in Michigan. The first time I passed one, I was with the students for the McNair project. When we were going to Niagara Falls. And somehow we passed one of those signs. And I was like, did you guys see that? And they were like, yeah, that's totally normal. And I was like, I have never seen one of those before. It was totally flew me for a loop.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unnerving. So anytime I wanted to go to Chicago when I lived in Southern Illinois, I would just get on the Amtrak because, yeah, it took longer, but it was nicer, Riding on trains is fun. Yeah. And if they released prisoners or something like that, which they did, pretty much every day somebody got released, they would put them on the train if they were going to Chicago. So I got to meet a ton of people who were released from that prison. It was like I've talked to a lot of people who have either been like inside or a part of like America's carceral system, but never people who had done that amount of time. Like the people I talked to, they had done decades of time, and they were this one guy, he was so fascinated by Facebook, and he goes like, do you have a smartphone? And I was like, I do. And he goes, I've heard about those. And I said, oh, okay, well, this is an iPhone. And he goes, do you have a face page? And I said, yeah, I do have a face page. He was like, I heard you can look people up. And I said, there's a few ways you can do that. And I was like, what do you want? And he goes, will you look me up? And I said, I will. Are you sure you want me to do that? Like, it's going to come up with your mugshot or anything like that. And he's like, that's fine. I just. And so the other guy that was with him, he was like this really small, quiet. He was a Latino man, but I don't know. Like, didn't get to talk to him much enough to find out if he was like Mexican or if he was from South America. And he had a tear tattooed on his face.
Oh,
And
wow.
he was like, would you look me up? Yeah. And I was like, yeah, here, I'll look you up. And his mugshot was so fucking funny. It was so interesting looking at Reentry, or just kind of being with somebody. There was 3 of them who were experiencing that Reentry. So, like, for instance, the dude who was sitting next to me, he was a pretty big guy, and they don't let him wear regular clothes. Because if they came in with clothes decades ago, right, they're obviously gone by now. So they're wearing their prison clothes. They turn them loose. Just obviously they scream, I'm coming from prison. So I would say that doesn't help them feel at ease around general population. And so he sat down next to me and he was on the aisle and he kept like really being activated when people would walk close to him. And he would clench really big and he was like, I don't want to make anybody feel bad, but I can't help reacting that way because if someone's that close to you in the environment I just came from, then it means that I'm probably in danger. So I was like, do you want to switch seats? And he said, no, I need to get used to it. Good God. Okay. But he was also like just really, really enjoying being able to be around people and use his free will to do nice things. It was so fun to see because he was very tall. There was a little old lady sitting across the aisle from us and she was having trouble getting her bag up into the top. And he was like, oh, can I help you with that? I would love to help you with that. And she was like, yeah, please, if you don't care. Those 2 were sweet. The other guy, he was like really, really bothering. From my perspective, he was bothering this woman, like hitting on her all the time, asking if he could come home with her. She was like, she had it handled. She was pretending to be asleep. And then she was like, what were you in prison for? And, like I got up and I like pretended to go up to the bathroom. And when I came back out, I made eye contact with her and I like mouthed the words, are you okay? And she nodded. And so then I just sat directly behind her and like just let her know I was there. But I was like, I don't think I can get him off of her. We just have to hope he respects her boundaries because the rest of us are around. And he got off before we got to Chicago. And so the rest of the way there was really pleasant. And then when they started to see, that's one of the reasons you ride the train to Chicago is so you can see that skyline and you're not driving so you can pay attention. They both started crying. And like the guy who was next to me, he got like really excited, but the smaller guy, the Latino dude, he was really overcome with emotion and was like kind of trying to hide it, but couldn't hide that he was like openly bawling. And so the little old woman behind him like tapped him and handed him a pink tissue from her purse. It was so fucking cute. Like that's one of the many reasons to appreciate public transportation is moments like that. There's plenty of other horrible things that you wish you never have to see again that also happen on public transportation. But
yeah, I've been on a train before. My brother-in-law worked for the train companies in northeastern Ohio, and every Christmas they would have like Santa rides where you'd ride an hour one way and ride an hour the other way, and Santa would come through the cars, and you could get hot chocolate and that kind of thing, and it was just fun being on the railroad. So I've done that a couple of times. So that's really all of my train experience, but I like it. I've always driven to Chicago.
done that too, way less fun.
Yeah.
I only ever saw freight trains.
You saw what trains? You cut out.
Freight trains.
Ah.
I only had any experience with freight trains because that's what Dad drove, and that's what was all around Jellicoe because it was the coal mining. So there were no passenger trains really. So I didn't see those until I moved up close to Toledo.
Huh. Instantly in my head, I got Michelle, Tamika, and Tanya want to ride this train. Come on, ride the train.
Come on, ride that train. Oh, dude, the 90s are back.
Oh, yeah, in a big way.
That picture I sent you of Emmett and his haircut, I sent it to Claire, and she goes, "It's giving Devin Sawa," and I was like, "That was exactly what I thought was just bangs and bowl and volume."
It was really cute.
Yes,
I'm
very
so jealous that
adorable.
you've still got young nieces and nephews.
Well, hell, they'll be driving it by the time I see them next.
Yeah. My oldest niece is 34 and my youngest nibbling is 24. So all five of them fall within those 10 years.
I mean, obviously, I don't have any other nieces and nephews, but a lot of second cousins, like the generation of cousins after my first cousins, and they're all in college.
It's technically your first cousin once removed. So your second you wouldn't get a second cousin from that line. It would be your first cousin once removed, then twice removed, then three times removed, then four times removed. But it stays your first cousin as long as it was originally your first cousin. Like your kid and their kid would be second cousins, but it would still be your first cousin once removed.
So there was a guy at the boxing class last night so there's different, I don't really train boxing. I've done it before just for like, it's good strength training and it's good cardio, but I prefer like Muay Thai and like stuff that incorporates kicking and knees and stuff. And so there was a guy there last night who also did Muay Thai, and he noticed that I had Muay Thai form. And so he was like, "You should come and train with us." And I was like, "I'm a little past my prime." I appreciate it, but no. And he goes, "How old are you?" It's like, "I am 44. You can't kick me in the face."
I would crumble into dust if somebody kicked me in the face. My nephew does Jin Pao, or is that a Chinese dish? I don't know. Jin Po or something. My nephew is really big into martial
Ikundo?
arts. Maybe.
Yeah. It's similar to Muay Thai.
Yeah. He's really
I think
into
that's
it,
that's the Bruce Lee one.
Yeah, definitely. Then that's where we're on the right track because he's a Bruce Lee stan.
Yeah. So I don't know if he invented it or what, but it's kind of a fusion martial art that puts together, I don't know, some things. I don't know anything with belts. I don't know anything about it. Like, I've trained a little bit of karate, but just so that I could do what they call continuous, which is essentially just Japanese kickboxing.
I watched all of Cobra Kai. Does that count?
Probably. Yeah, it probably means you know more about it than me.
I liked Cobra Kai. Shanna hated it because it was so macho, but for whatever reason, I liked it. I don't know if it was nostalgia or what, but I was like, it's cheesy, absolutely, but I still like it. I'm allowed to like cheesy things.
There's 6 seasons of that show? Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Ralph Macchio came back for it. Awesome.
And Johnny. They're the two main characters.
I probably would like this. I remember it happening, and I don't remember why I didn't watch it.
There's lots of kick-ass fighting
because it started in 2018. So I hadn't started training martial arts yet. I started in 2019.
Gotcha.
Like in earnest, like I did karate as a kid. I think a lot of kids just do. There's like the sporty extracurricular your parents will put you in if they possibly can. I could not explain to you how karate became mine, because why in Jellicoe? How did there become a karate thing in Jellicoe? But it just happened to be one of Mom's ex-boyfriends became a black belt in karate and opened a dojo down there in Jellicoe. He let us come for free.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we went for quite a while. I don't remember. I certainly didn't become a black belt, but I was like I think it was green belt was as high as I got. And it, like, I don't really remember. Like, your body remembers a little. Anytime your body learns something, it remembers, but I don't remember the names of things. I don't remember what, any of the katas, because that's a big deal in those kinds of more like symbolic martial arts. Like, nobody's using karate for self-defense. Someone who's trained in karate might have an advantage in defending off a certain attacker or whatever, but if what you want is self-defense, do not do karate. It's the longest walk around to where you're trying to get. If what you want is self-defense, take a self-defense class.
Yeah. My activities were softball and bowling.
Right.
It's a lot of balls for a lesbian.
I played basketball for all of elementary and middle school, and then I quit in high school. And I kept doing track and field until I graduated. But I didn't do any type of like actual organized sports, like no intramurals, nothing like that until my 30s, my late 30s, when I picked up Muay Thai and kickboxing. And I picked those because they don't have belts. Because if you start in a belted system in your 30s, you're a white belt. The rest of them are 6 years old. Like there's no adult white belt program at any dojo. And I was just like, I can't do this. No, this is too weird.
My brother took karate in Portsmouth, but I had no interest in anything like that. If it wasn't softball or bowling, I was reading. That was pretty much me.
I want to start like walking and running again. I want to get back into running, and I get so bored running. So podcasts help.
I'm really into audiobooks right now. I recommend that.
I know that you're like intermittently on TikTok and stuff, but so this is how I see a lot of the pop culture, the things that are trending in places I don't hang out. But the Erica Kirk video of her in like this Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation get up. Have you seen it? Mm-mm. She's wearing a black baseball cap pulled down really low over her face. It says freedom on it in black letters.
Is when she's staring at the camera? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that. I did see that this morning.
What kind of crazy pants? That is such an interesting person to me.
Are we sure that's not AI?
Yeah, we're sure, because it was like an actual show. It was an actual podcast. Gotcha. So there were like multiple versions and multiple angles and stuff like that. But I don't know, like I don't know what's going on with her, but there's something really odd about like how she does affect, right? Mm-hmm. Like, who's she looking at? Why is she breathing like that? I saw somebody stitched it and they were just like waving an asthma inhaler at her. Like, you need this girl.
I think it's crazy that she's screaming reverse racism, because we all know that's not a fucking thing. But
white face. Drewski's in white face.
Yeah. The stupid, it hurts.
When she's also like she's being super dramatic about, she goes like, every day I wake up to a new headline about me. Try being trans or a person of color in America, you know, like I'm on the news everywhere I go. Like I'll be in the fucking like grocery store or the barber shop, and and the news, the radio or whatever is talking about me, and I have to sit there and pretend it's not happening. These people are such pussies. They're just such weenies. It's kind of embarrassing. It's like you and your people are making my life harder. And this is what you are? Like, this is all you are made of, and you're somehow actually making my life harder. Like, what kind of fucking, how is that even possible, you know?
Yeah. What I don't understand is how people don't see what a grift it is. Like, all of that shit. They just buy into it wholeheartedly, you know, that they're all people of God and God-fearing. And, you know, there's an old saying that standing in a garage doesn't make you a Cadillac any more than standing at church makes you a Christian, you know. I've got a friend, I won't say his name, but we went to high school together, and he was always a nice guy. He was never real smart, but he was always a really nice guy. He didn't play football or sports or anything. He's religious. He has a wife and a couple of kids, and we have clashed several times on Facebook. But he's constantly saying things like be the hands and feet of Jesus and trying to be kind. And I think he is very sincere in his beliefs. I genuinely do. But he was one of the people that watched the Turning Point USA halftime show and said it was great, and said that maybe he would be singing that song that Kid Rock put out, you know, when we talked about that. And he's just so gullible that I don't understand how somebody who has average intelligence doesn't see what a grift all of it is. Like, it's so obvious to me. I don't see how they don't see it.
I think that the fear of being left out and the fear of being wrong about it is so intense. I've been in situations before where I have just sort of casually mentioned that I don't follow a religion. I don't, you know, think about a deity, much less believe in one. Like, it never crosses my mind that a deity could be involved in any given situation I'm in. And people have like backed away or crossed themselves or just looked really shocked in a way that it like made it clear to me that the thought of being alone was scary. being without some sort of deity that was invested in them was scary to them. And I've been asked, like, what if you're wrong? Which, why is that my problem? Why? It doesn't matter if I'm wrong about whether there's a God or not. If there's a God, he made me wrong. That's not my fault. I don't see anything to be scared of there. It's
Right.
really, I whatever it is that makes belief work or faith or whatever, I guess I don't have it, and I can't see it. I don't know
Me
what that
either.
would look like.
Like I would love it if I could give myself to a larger, deity that and trust in something that the universe was going to do things for me and that kind of thing. I wish I could buy into it, but never. I mean, we've talked about how when I was 4 years old, I was disagreeing with the Pentecostal church doctrine about how animals have souls. So my whole life I have been like, fuck the church, basically.
I mean, maybe that's part of it. Maybe deferring to a deity on moral things frees you up. You don't have to think about whether something's right or wrong or not, because
Right.
something else somewhere has said something extremely confusing and contradictory about it. So you just pick whichever one feels right to you, whichever one slots you into a context, and go with it. But I can't be afraid that I might be wrong about it. I can't care.
I believe they call that Pascal's wager.
I've never heard that. Okay, believing in God is the most rational choice because the potential gain is infinite while the loss is finite. The believer gain if God exists, the believer gains everything. If not, they lose little. That seems backwards to me.
Right?
Like, if God exists but can't manage to make me believe in him, he's obviously not very influential.
Right? Very powerful. I am jealous of the fellowship that church brings. Right? The Sunday dinners and the church plays and the church rummage sales and the ladies Bible study group or whatever. Those are just, those are religion based community activities, and I would love to have a community like that you get from church, but I just can't agree to what they want you to agree to in order to get that fellowship. Like I've even thought about the Universalist Unitarian Church, right? How they are non-denominational and how they talk about all the religion. It's kind of like the anti-religion or whatever. And I can't do it.
Well, and those 7 pillars or tenets or whatever it is they have, they're very fucking Christian-y.
Yeah.
And I'm jealous of the way that their access to that community is literally sacrosanct. It is protected above all things in the U.S. A Christian is never going to be without community. They're never going to be without a safe place to go, barring certain extreme situations like cults and like abuse and things like that, where people become trapped. Your average Christian in the U.S. is spoiled for choice when it comes to ways to spend their time around like-minded people who love them unconditionally. Were anybody to suggest that that's a privilege instead of a right, you would be, criticized. But the rest of us can't have that. Right? Like every time somebody wants to have a queer event or a black event or something like that, or a space for those people or people with that shared identity to hang out, then it becomes, oh, they're pushing it on us. This is your whole identity. You're shoving this down my throat. Blah, 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 snowflake. You need your own safe space version of things. It's like, you occupy the most safe space of safe spaces.
Yeah, these people that accuse us of having safe spaces didn't want to share water fountains with black people in the 50s and 60s. You know what? Like, what kind of snowflake bullshit is that? Like, they are the biggest snowflakes that there are. Oh, it makes me angry.
I can't come to your, Sunday cookout unless I join your book club and make that my whole personality. Also, this is a book club where nobody's reading the book.
Yeah. For sure.
Part of the reason why everybody but that identity is being denied that right now in America is because if we can't have community with each other, we also can't have any resilience. When we're isolated and alone, we're defenseless, we don't have we can't stand up to what they're already doing to us and planning to get much more overt about doing. Like the anti-trans stuff is just crazy.
Yeah.
The redistricting, the Supreme Court just legalized gerrymandering.
Yeah. I watched a couple of videos about that last night, about the racist origins of all of that bullshit and the Supreme Court decisions and how they were gutting the Civil Rights, the Voting Act. And I can't believe they're setting us back 60 years, and that's exactly what's going to happen if they do all of that. And they say that they don't want it based on race, yet like in Louisiana, 7 of the 8 districts are white majority, yet 33% of the state is black. Like, how does that work? You know what I mean? Like, it should be fair. It should just be fair. Everybody's vote should count. But it's never going to be that way as long as people get power from that they don't deserve from rigging it. I mean, Trump came out and said it himself. He said, I'm going to fix it so good that you won't have to vote next time. And they're trying to deliver on that promise.
Yeah, they've already suspended primaries in Louisiana.
Wow.
The Electoral College itself, the only reason the Electoral College exists is because of the 3/5 compromise.
Yeah.
It was created to facilitate racial disenfranchisement. We really haven't changed much.
The technology and the wrapper has changed, but the underlying values and the wires on the inside are exactly as rotten as they have ever been. Rue says hi.
Hi, Rue.
She's a good girl. She just lets me hold her as long as I want to.
How's the apartment search going?
That's Shanna's area. I couldn't tell you. I'm a bad shopper. Genuinely, like, you tell me to order something, I'm going to order the wrong thing every time. I will double check it. I will triple check it. I will make sure it's right, and somehow it's wrong. Like, I've done this so many times that I'm kind of infamous for it. So I let Shanna do the shopping, and that involves apartment hunting. She's just so much better at it than I am.
It is overwhelming. Shopping for anything is overwhelming because there's a million options.
Yeah. Like, she had me order my my perfume off of Amazon and some Kool-Aid for her, and I ordered the perfume from a third-party seller, and so it's not going to be here until like 2 weeks from now. And then I ordered the Kool-Aid from a third-party seller somehow, and it's not going to be here till the end of June, and it's too late to cancel them now. So, or I'll get it stuck in my head that we need shampoo, and I'll buy 5 bottles of shampoo like every time I go to the store 5 times in a row. I've done that before. I have so many boxes of mac and cheese in my cabinet right now. It's stupid.
That is, I mean, maybe one day you'll hit gold.
One thing I do shop for on Amazon, and this is so silly, it's deals on toilet paper, and then I buy toilet paper in bulk. Because if you pay attention, if I got a $36 pack of toilet paper for $24 the other day because of coupons and a 20% off if you subscribe and save and do all, because you can cancel the subscriptions, right? So I just sign up for it and then go in and cancel it afterwards when you get your 20% off. It was like 8 4-packs or something like that for $24. Hell yeah. Yes, I will. Thank you.
Yeah. Maybe it's a good time to hear from this week's sponsor. Oh, I don't have my glasses on. This should be fun. All right. This week's episode of Queernecks is sponsored by those Raggedy flip-flops that are seemingly made out of an old yoga mat. These represent the pinnacle of improvised foam engineering, serving as a multifunctional tool that happens to occasionally cover the bottom of a foot. This device functions as a high-velocity precision fly swatter, utilizing its flat surface area to eliminate household pests with a singular resonant strike. In outdoor settings, the rubberized chassis serves as an impromptu coaster for cold beverages or a temporary shim to stabilize outdoor furniture on uneven terrain. The acoustic signature of the Raggedy Threadbare Flipper Flopper provides a constant rhythmic broadcast of a user's location, ensuring that bystanders are fully aware of an approaching presence long before visual contact. During transit across wet surfaces, the lack of traction transforms a standard hallway into a recreational slide, offering spontaneous physical activity without the need for specialized equipment. In domestic disputes involving misplaced laundry or unwashed dishes, this footwear transitions seamlessly into a tactical projectile, capable of being deployed with surprising aerodynamic stability over short distances. Owners of the Raggedy threadbare flip-flop enjoy direct sensory connection to the environment, feeling the distinct texture of every pebble, the temperature of every sidewalk crack through the minimalist sole. The design prioritizes maximum ventilation, allowing for the complete integration of dust and sand into the foot-to-shoe interface. This product serves as a definitive signal of a relaxed social posture, indicating to the public that the wearer has prioritized immediate convenience over long-term arch support or protection from the elements. This yoga mat-derived implement functions as the ultimate key to restricted commercial spaces, providing a technical loophole for the legally mandated signage found on gas station entryways. When paired with a heavy-duty drawstring trash bag fashioned into a makeshift halter top, these foam slabs complete the formal ensemble that satisfies the most rigid health code requirements for indoor service. This combination always allows a person to transition from creekside mud bank to a snack aisle with total bureaucratic compliance. The structural design of the Raggedy threadbare flipper flopper ignores traditional social divisions, offering a completely gender-neutral experience where every foot, regardless of identity, suffers the same specific friction burn between the toes. This footwear serves as a great equalizer in the rural landscape, fitting any person who values a shoe that can be hosed off in the front yard after a long day of lawn maintenance or engine repair. The open-air construction ensures that these flipper floppers remain the preferred choice for those who believe that a formal dress code is merely a suggestion rather than a requirement for buying a gallon of milk and a lottery ticket.
That's one thing that I've not worn since I was a child. Yeah, I refuse to wear them. Yeah. I will not show off my feet. I'm like the oddball in my family. I won't show off my feet. I won't show off my boobs. I won't show off like my cleavage, like all of it. I'm like, hell no. I'm covered for your safety.
What's wrong with your feet?
I just don't like them. Oh. They're my dad's feet, and they're very manly.
Yeah. I have some strong feet.
And where I'm diabetic, and so my toenails grow like my mom's, and they grow like staples. They like go down and kind of curve back in and come out my toe. So I get ingrown toenails like all the way in. They have to dig them out. So to avoid that, I let my big toenail grow pretty long. And I just would not show that to anyone. That is my own personal shame.
Real lazy about trimming my toenails too. Like they've got to be like poking into each other because I have some crooked toes. So I know that it's time to cut my nails by my pinky toe cutting into the other toe next to it.
I make Shanna do it for me. I'm terrible with clippers.
It's hard to reach. Oh my God.
When you've been with somebody for 22 years, there is nothing off the table. Like, you're in it for the long haul at that point. She's seen grosser things than my toenails. She cleans dirty, like at work today, she had somebody shit in the tub, and so she had to clean the tub out. I could not do that job. So my toenails are nothing compared to that.
And this is, absolutely nothing against Shannon because I would never. I love her. But like based on how I knew her before she started this work, this is not what I would have picked for her.
She's a very good caretaker. She's a very good when I'm sick, I feel fantastic because she always makes me feel better. So
I could believe that, but I just saw this ball of anxiety, and I was just. But also now that I'm saying it, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, she's still a ball of anxiety. Don't get that twisted.
It's just an asset now.
Yeah. Right now, she's working through a stretch of 6 days where she has to work in a row, and she's not doing well with it. And then she agreed to stay late today. She should have been home already, but she doesn't get off till 4 o'clock today, and I'm over it. It's extra money, but I'm like, I'm bored. What am I supposed to do? Just sit here and work all the time?
That's kind of it. Like the balance of extra money versus your own well-being. I was talking to Sabrina last night about going back to teaching full-time instead of doing administration and then teaching on the side. And I remember, that it was boring. Teaching is a little boring. It's a little monotonous, right? It's cyclical. But also, now that I know what real stress is, like the kind of stress that can kill you, I think I will not be as salty about the occasional, feeling of deja vu and, oh my God, I've been here before, especially now that I'm getting older. Like, I think I'll be a little more appreciative or likely to appreciate stability and knowing, what's it called, where you know what's coming, certainty. But I don't know if it's an ego, but like the thing that I liked about being an administrator is actually being able to make an impact, like on the university itself. Like That's addictive. It's like I can see how people get addicted to power. Like, oh, people listen to me.
Well, you get some of that as a professor too, like that email that I got a couple of weeks ago where the student said that he appreciated me being queer out loud and he realized that he was queer on his own. Like you make an impact on people. I was grading the last quiz for my ethnic studies class, and the last question I asked him is, what are you going to take away from this class? What will you carry with you? How will you use it? Right? And I had 3 or 4 people say that they're going to take my line that if black people could fix racism, it would have been fixed already. They're going to take that with them. And I'm like, all right, I did something. I'm quoted. Woohoo!
As faculty, you get to impact the students. And administrators don't get to do that as much. Like I was kind of lucky in that my role did give me a little bit of that. And it's a slower burn. You kind of have to wait a while for that to pay off. Whereas an administrator, you're changing the university pretty much on the daily and you get that dopamine hit faster. But it's also, that's one of the reasons why it's so fucking stressful. Did you bring a noun of Appalachian interest?
I did. It's a big one today. All right, y'all. Today's noun of Appalachian interest is the Appalachian Mountains themselves. It's about time we talked about the star of this show properly. Now, when people hear mountains, they picture something dramatic, like picturesque snowcaps, or maybe they yearn for yodeling or goats doing parkour on cliffs. Those are all awesome things, but that is really not these mountains. The Appalachians are older. These mountains have been here so long that human history feels tiny by comparison. These mountains used to be tall in a way that would have made the Rockies feel insecure, and then time said, let's sand that down a bit, and here we are. What you get instead is rolling ridges that just keep going. These mountains don't sit off in the distance looking pretty. They surround you. They shape how towns got built, how roads twist, how people talk. Even directions change. Nobody says north or south around here. No, that's fancy city talk. In these mountains, your directions are up the holler, down past the creek, or turn where that old gas station used to be. I once gave a friend 3 hours away directions to my house and didn't use a single road name. True story. The mountains also have this habit of keeping stories, not in a spooky way. It's more like they hold on to things, like family histories, old routes, places where something happened once and now everybody knows not to go there after dark. You don't need a map. What you really need is someone's mamaw telling you all the stories. And here's the thing that I like the most. These mountains don't rush. They've been here longer than just about anything you can name, and they move at their own pace. You can feel it when you're there. The air slows you down. The quiet feels different. Even time feels like it took a seat for a minute. So yeah, the Appalachian Mountains aren't out here trying to impress anybody. They don't need to. They just sit there like, we've been doing this a long time. Y'all can catch up when you're ready. Like us Queernecks, a lot of folks don't get to stay in those mountains. They leave for work or school or for love or for something that feels like it's waiting somewhere else. You pack up, you go build a life and somewhere new. That part's real. But the mountains don't really let you go all the way. They stick with you in ways that you don't expect. It might be the way that you measure distance in time instead of miles, or how loud quiet feels when everything finally settles down at night. It might be the way certain words feel more like home than others, even if nobody around you says them anymore. After a while, you realize it's not just the place you came from, it's part of how you move through the world, part of how you think, how you remember, how you make sense of things. It makes a mark on your soul. And whether you ever move back home or not, you're still tied to it. Your story doesn't leave just because you did. It stays folded into those hills, right alongside with everybody else's, like it always had a spot waiting. That's this week's Down of Appalachian Interest, the Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah, they're older than the continents. Like they go back to Pangea. Mm-hmm. That's why there's no fossils of. I mean, there are fossils of multicellular organisms, but not like, there's no dinosaurs. Have you ever been to anywhere in the Rockies?
When I was young enough that I didn't remember it. We've been to Pikes Peak when I was like 3 years old. We went on a whole tour of the West, and I don't remember any of it, except riding in the back seat on the hump in the floorboard. That was my spot because I was the littlest.
Yeah, when we lived out in Denver, I barely remember living there and don't remember any or much about what it actually looked like outside. I have visited Salt Lake City, and I don't. That doesn't really count, but you could. It had like hill-like areas that I could definitely see that it was a quite different kind of topography out there than what we have in Appalachia. Have you ever been to Big Chain Rock in eastern Kentucky?
No.
It is, I mean, just literally that. Like it's a huge rock on the side of a mountain that they were afraid was going to fall off. And so they chained it. They put this like 2-ton, 1.5-ton chain from a wrecked steam shovel on the side of the mountain out to it. In case it fell, it would stop it from rolling down and squashing like the town below it there. You can hike to it and see it, and it is crazy looking. I have I'll get my photos from my phone because that was part of my territory when I was a recruiter.
That's wild.
Yeah. This is kind of the view from like when you're standing out where the wreck is, or the wrecker. It doesn't really do it justice, but like it's pretty cool. And so I remember visiting that when we were little. Here's the chain itself. Oh, this is Instagram. Interesting.
It's a pretty view.
Yeah, it's a beautiful spot. And the whole hike is gorgeous, but like just the idea that this chain is going to stop this boulder. I just don't know about it.
Yeah, it's pretty big. That's wild.
It's very Kentucky.
The only cool thing we have is the Serpent Mound, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, Serpent Mound, that's cool.
Have you ever been there?
No.
Next time you go see Sabrina, you guys should take a little drive and go out and check it out. It's worth seeing in person. They have a little structure where you can walk up the stairs. It's like 3 flights of stairs to the top, and then you can see over the entire thing. It's totally worth going up.
Cool.
There's another thing in Chillicothe called Tecumseh. They do an outdoor drama, and they have horses and guns and all that kind of stuff, and it's really cool. But they do it all summer there in Chillicothe.
Is it named after
a famous...
Is it named after Sherman or the native chief?
Sherman was named after the native chief. And so the native chief was from the Chillicothe area.
So is it named after him or Sherman?
Yeah. No, the Indian chief.
Okay, cool. Okay, yeah, he was a member of the Shawnee Nation.
Yeah. I went probably 25. It was my ex-girlfriend, if it's been that long. And I've been with Shanna for 22 years. So, but I loved it. We had front row seats, and it was the coolest thing. So if you get a chance, I recommend going to see that. And you have to also eat at the original Krispy Kreme donut. There's all kinds of fun stuff to do in Chillicothe.
And I want a donut.
You know, the original Krispy Kreme that I grew up with beats the KK Krispy Kreme all to hell. Though the policy of giving you a free glazed donut when their hot and ready light is on, 5 stars. Wouldn't change a thing. No notes on that. That's amazing.
Yeah. Genius.
You know, some fat kid came up with that. What's your favorite kind of donut? If you have your choice, what's your favorite kind of donut?
It's Krispy Kreme. Like,
yeah,
nothing compares to Krispy Kreme donuts. I've had some nice Dunkin' things. I've had some Dolly Madison. You know, there's whatever they do here. I'm sure that there's the things regional here, but those are cake or, you know, something else. Like they're like a Boston cream donut, right? Almost anybody can do those. But like if I want just a glazed donut, I'm not eating anything except Krispy Kreme.
Right. Next time you go to Chillicothe, try the Krispy Kreme there. It's CC Krispy Kreme. Their glazed donuts beat the KK ones like they're dog shit. Like, it's amazing.
That is high praise.
Yeah, it has a donut called the Mountaintop. When I was a kid, I got so obsessed with them that I would dream about them because I was a fat kid, right? It's a chocolate donut with chocolate icing with a big dollop of white icing on top of it. And it is delicious. 5 stars.
Now I want to go find some sort of sweet treat.
Sweet treat? Are you going to have a sweet treat?
Sweet treat.
I finished off my sweet treat, which was my chocolate-covered pretzels. I finished those off last night. So, though I do have some old school, like when you're in kindergartner, iced oatmeal cookies. I was craving those the other day, so I've got a pack of those too.
Yeah. Every now and then, I will just like need an Oreo.
Yeah. Shanna got the kaleidoscopes or whatever, the kaleidos or whatever they're called, the generic ones. They're pretty good too.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty simple formula.
Did you know they're vegan?
Yeah, accidentally vegan.
Yeah.
So are the Doritos sweet chili chips.
Oh, good to know.
I don't know about any of the other ones. Probably not ranch, but well, maybe we ought to get off of here. Listeners, thanks for hanging out with us for another week. Tell us what famous thing is made in your hometown. In Lexington, they make Post-its.
That's interesting. In Cincinnati, they make a lot of schnapps. There's a the famous one that makes schnapps, of course my internet's going slow. It starts with DE. It's a very famous brand of like syrups and schnapps and things like that. And I can't think of the name of it. But they have a factory in Cincinnati, and every time you drive by it, it smells like sugar smacks because they're doing the sugar boil down. Oh God, it smells so good. But sometimes you'll drive by and it smells like cherries, or it'll be pineapple day or whatever, and that's fantastic.
A Kuiper?
Yeah, I think that is it.
I don't know how to say it, but
yeah, I think that's exactly right. The best factory I ever lived near was the Heiner's Bread Factory, which that was amazing. The smell of Heiner's bread. Did they have Heiner's bread where you grew up? Is that an Appalachian thing or just a regional thing?
I don't remember it. We just ate boring white bread.
Well, that's what Heiner's was, but it's the softest, most delicious white bread you'll ever have. Sarah Lee bought them out.
Well, then probably. Poor Chillicothe smells like the worst goddamn thing I've ever smelled.
Hey, it smells like money.
The paper plant. Oh, Jesus. Although, they say they're closing it down.
They've said that a couple of times over. Yeah, it used to be like every time you'd go to Columbus, you'd know you were in Chillicothe because you'd hit the smell.
It is singular. Nothing else smells like that.
Yep.
Well, be good, everybody. Or be good at it.
Amen.
Have a good week. And our next episode is our 50th.
Ooh.
That doesn't necessarily mean anything except for we somehow managed to put together 50 of these.
Somebody could listen to us for 2 solid days, and that's amazing.
Oh my God, that's true. Let us know if you did that. Somebody every now and then I'll look on our analytics or whatever, and it's like, what is going on here? Okay, somebody in New Jersey is vibing with us.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I know. And we are happy to have all of y'all.
If you have any comments, hit us up at mailbag@queernecks.com. If you want to leave any comments or anything, don't forget about that. Yep.
And if you have something interesting you want to tell us about that we could report on the show, something cool that's happening in your hometown, are you a performer? I don't know. We just want to hear from you. And yeah, we'll see y'all out there. Say hi to your mom and them.
Bye.